not complete. It will be rotating only in this way. So suppose I defined as 360 degree, and you can give a negative value. It will be rotating like this. It will be rotating in this way. It is displaying the rotation style and configuring. If it is minus 360 degree, this will be counterclockwise. It will be rotating in another direction. So on mouse over and on mouse out, it will be like this. That is rotating on different axes. You can have translate, so rotate. You can have the options like scale, size, you can increase. Scale already we know. So that means height, width we can adjust. Suppose scale 3D. So in the scale 3D, so by default, so 100%, 100%, 100%. And when it is final, then you have to define. So you have to define scale 3D as 1.5 x-axis, so 2 y-axis and 1.5 z-axis. Like this, you are configuring the size to be defined, and it will be in that way. It will change its appearance. That means it is like zoom, and it will display along that. That is usually done by using animation effects. X, Y, and Z axis. So these are general things. You can use the option for skew also same. In the notes, I given some examples. You can try them, right? Because already we learned yesterday what is stretch, what is skew. The same you can apply on this, and you can define them. So scale 3D, switch 3D, skew 3D, rotate 3D, translate 3D. All these options are similar, and the same thing we need to apply. Matrix 3D also same. The options and effects. Yesterday we learned same options and effects. Later when we design some more examples, we can put this in those examples, how to use these options. If you know 2D, same 3D options also. And you can try in different examples. So you can try different effects and see them. So that is generally by using this transform 2D and 3D. When you are using this transform and options, one more option you have to understand is about, actually we have a Z axis also. Separate Z axis, Z index actually, Z index. We separately have an option called Z index. So Z index, we can define Z index. Z index, the concept of Z index is if there are many elements present, then keeping them one behind another, one below another, that is actually handled by using the Z index. So Z index is very much required for handling such things. So we can manage that by using Z index. So technically Z index can be handled when there are many elements overlapping one on another. For example, see here, .html. So here we are creating some contents. So doc type HTML head title. So Z index. Actually, this is used to keep the contents. So suppose I said div. This is class as some green box, okay. And another we have class as, so red box. Okay, some we have class, and there is like class yellow present here. I'm defining here as class yellow box. And for yellow box, what option you want? For yellow box, so width is equal to some 400 pixel. Height is equal to 400 pixel. And background color is equal to yellow. And border is equal to 2 pixels solid. And this is the yellow box we have. So that's the yellow box we are having. So we have that yellow box here. Okay, so then I'm creating another green box. So that is the green box class. In that green box, width is equal to some 800 or 900 pixels. And height is equal to some 100 pixels. So, and background color is green. And border is 2 pixel solid. That is another green boxes. Okay. And we have red box. And width is equal to 40 pixel. Height is equal to 500 pixel. So background color is red. And border as 2 pixel solid. Like this. That's another 3 options are present here. Okay. So border 2 pixel solid. Okay. These are 3 boxes we are having. Now for yellow box position as absolute. Okay. Green box position also absolute. And red box position also absolute. All are absolute position. All are absolute position, it will be like this. Now some red box margin left is 200 pixel. Left margin 200 pixel. Green box, so margin top as some 100 pixel. Like this we have. Actually, now in this, I need to send this yellow box behind all of them. I need to bring the green box above the box. Now 3 options are there. All 3 are overlapping on each other. Then what we have to do now here is, for yellow box, so Z index, I kept 0. Z index is 0. Okay, green box, so Z index, I kept as 1. And the red box, Z index, I kept at 2. 0, 1, 2. This is how it looks. That means yellow is 0, means behind all of them. After that green, after that red. I need to send this red box behind the green box. Send the red box behind the green box. Then red box position will be 1. Red box position will be 1. Green box position will be 2. Index starts with 0, 1, 2. Now you can see like this. Now red box will go behind the green box. Now green box, I want to send behind all of them. Then obviously green box will, now both cannot be 0. So green box will go 0. Yellow box will come up. We can change the position of that, because which one latest applied, it will be applied for that. Both cannot be 0. Now this will be at 1 position, yellow box at 1 position. And in that case, so red box cannot be at 1 position. So this yellow will be 2 position, it is top over all of them. If it is 1 position, red box will be at 2 position, then you can bring the top. So that means you can push one step backward, one step forward. So green box is behind all of them. You can change the positions. So suppose for yellow box, what we are doing is, so margin left as 100 pixels. It moves a little bit like this. And margin top as 50 pixels. It will move little down. Now you can see these 3 boxes, one up, one over another. So you can bring forward, send backward. That depends on the position. I want to keep red on the top, yellow behind, and green in the middle. Then you know the positions now. For yellow, Z index should be 0. And the green, it will be 1. And red, it will be 2. And it will look like this. We can change the positions and we can keep the positions of the controls. That is Z index actually. By using Z index, we can configure the position. So this is very important when you are building or constructing some toolbars and any content is overlapping on another content. Then you have to send one behind the existing, bring forward. In that case, this is very important to design. It's very important to mention actually. That means how you want to place the contents, in which configuration it should be there. So technically, 0 means, what is the meaning of 0? That is the starting index. That means first index. Here the point is, why you think to give a negative number? Tell me first that point. Why you think so abnormally? So negative number. That means why you are so abnormally thinking about negative number? Tell me. How many objects are currently present? How many objects are currently present? How many objects are currently present? So index number starts with how much? So what is the meaning of negative value you are thinking about? You are saying that -1 I will give for the yellow box. So that means it will go behind anything else. So if you give the negative values, that is completely rubbish thinking, right? You cannot think about a negative value. It doesn't mean anything at all. Because if there are only 3 objects, starts with 0 and -1, nothing will happen. It is equivalent to keeping it to 0, right? Nothing will happen. You give -1. Don't think that -1 means it will go behind. It will not go anything, right? You can move the left and right margin. You can move the left and right margin. You can move the left and right margin your wish. So you can deal with left and right anywhere. Here, negative doesn't have any effect because actually index negative is equal to the 0. Because index starts with 0, about a negative value here at all. And unfortunately, abnormally, you given a negative value means it is equivalent to 0. Nothing will happen. Right? So that is completely baseless thinking about negative values. So because index, it is already saying that index. And in index, negative values will not be there. Immediately, anybody will laugh when you ask that question at all. Why? Because I think then they will come to a conclusion that this person don't know what is meaning of index. So generally, dynamically, indexes will be configured with -1 is not index, right? -1 and negative values are not related to indexes. They all only from 0 to the positive options, right? So this is index Z index. So keeping the positions and displaying the positions at any location. Next, after understanding this, now we have given the transition options. These are all transforms. We have transition. Actually, transition have so many options. Like transition is the shortcut we are using, 2 seconds like that. But transition is having so many other animations also, like transition delay, like transition duration, like transition property, like transition timing function, timing function. These options are to that. Actually, delay, duration, property, timing function, all can be given by using simple transition. So in our previous examples, we just used transition, but it have 3 separate options. What is the purpose and the difference between those options, we will see. Actually, so when you are defining the transitions here, let's create a new file. And the transition.html. So, okay. In this transition HTML, we are defining doc type HTML head. We have box class is equal to box. So in the style, I will keep the style box. So box width is equal to, suppose 100 pixel. Height is equal to some 40 pixel. Background color is red, like this. That's the box. So this is the box appearance here. Now when I move the mouse onto the box, now transform, scale. So I will put transform. So that is scale. Scale means x-axis. Width, I will give as 800 pixel. So that means suppose 8 times. Scale x 8 times. This is on hover. It will be 8x. So that means on mouse over, it will be like this. It will be in this way. It is moving that 800 times. So I just defined that as some 400 pixels or 800 pixels, like that we define. That means on over, we are adjusting the width also. Or you can simply put width. We can simply put width. No need of transform here. We can just put width is equal to 900 pixel. And the height is not changed. Rest of options are same. That means on hover, so we need to change the size. Okay, that's working fine. You can give transform or you can directly change the width. Now the point is how much time it is taking to transform. into 900 width, just fraction of 1 second. So what we do is we will say that transition, duration. Duration, I will say 4 seconds. That means from 100 pixel width to, suppose its width is 50 pixel. From 50 pixel to 900 pixel, it will take 4 seconds to complete. It will take 4 seconds to complete. How it is configured. Changing selector. CSS selectors can be used in so many ways. I hope other people know it. Hover is not today we are learning. So we discussed it in a concept called CSS selectors. There we have seen so many examples on that. So I hope you are there in that class. Now he is newly asking hover. What is this hover? Can I change color on hover? So we learned so much things about hover. You can do everything. We have changed those colors also, right? Now here the duration is 4 seconds. Okay. Now you see it is taking 4 seconds to complete that. But when I move the mouse outside, it will come immediately to normal. Only changing to 900, it taking 4 seconds. But to come back, it is taking just a fraction of seconds. So what we will do is initial state also, transition. So we will give transition, duration, 1 second or 2 seconds. That means it's going fast. And when I come out, then it will be in 2 seconds, little bit faster. Going slow because it takes 4 seconds to complete it, and coming fast in 2 seconds on mouse over. That is duration. Another option is delay. Delay means actually current animation is affecting immediately. When I move mouse onto it, immediately it is working. When I move the mouse onto it, immediately it is working. But sometimes after I move the mouse onto it, after a few seconds, it should start, not immediately. So then what we do is we can give another option, that is transition delay. Delay 3 seconds. Then see what will happen. When I move the mouse onto it, immediately animation not started. After 3 seconds, the animation will start. So I remove, immediately it is coming. When I move mouse onto it, you can see immediately it's not started. So why to give? Because suppose sometimes what happens, we move the mouse to there, but in between, so from bottom to top, in between several titles, text, so many things will be there. If so many things are there and your mouse is moving over all of them, then all animations may fire up. That's the reason we keep delay. Delay indicates that don't start immediately. So when the mouse pointer is over it, after wait for a few seconds and then start. That is the delay time. So transition duration and the transition delay. Another important in the transition is transition property. Transition property means actually on mouse hover, suppose we are changing background color also. I am writing like background color as yellow. That means what it is happening now. So when you move the mouse onto it, it will change the background color of that. And you see slowly red will transform to yellow. Slowly, yellow will transform to red. Not immediately changing. Not immediately changing. Immediately not change it to yellow or red. That is what actually it is affecting this background. But I don't want background to transform. I don't want background to transform. Others will transform, but background I don't want to transform. Then what you have to do is, we have to just mention a simple option here. So transition property, we have to tell that. So we need to write here transition property. Which property should affect? So width should affect. And only width should affect. Background color should not affect. I am just giving transition property width. You can add multiple width and height. But we are not changing the height. Height is same. Only width should affect. So now I save this here, transition property width. You see that. So you see width is not affecting, only color is affecting. So that means which affects width. So background color I am writing like this. Background color. When I move the mouse onto it, width is working. Background color is not affecting. Background color is not affecting. That means which effect you don't want to work. That you can define and you can specify. You don't want width to happen. You don't want background color to happen. You can write. That means transition property indicates which property you don't want to change. I don't want to change background. If I don't write transition property, it will affect all of it. Will affect the width and others also. That means I need to change that transition delay also, duration and delay. If I don't give that 3 seconds, it will take. I will give immediately 1 second. Okay. Now when I move the mouse onto it, now you can see it is going to change the color also. It is going to change the color and it is going to display. If that means background is changing, width is changing. I don't want width to change. I don't want background to change. Then we can define transition property. And you can say all. All means it will not change all of them. Sometimes we want to disable, then we can give this. Or you can write width, then it will not affect the width. You can write height, it will not affect the height. You can write background color, it will not affect the background color. Which property you don't want to transform, that you can define by using transition property. So we have transition duration, transition delay, transition property. One more is there, transition timing actually. Transition timing function. Timing function is nothing but actually it is simply like you have PowerPoint. Suppose you know in PowerPoint and other presentation related softwares, ready-made effects are present. Ready-made effects are present. So we can use those ready-made effects. We can configure those ready-made effects. So we call them as timing functions. We can define ready-made effects and define the timing functions. Actually, observe here currently. So this is transition duration. transition duration. Duration as suppose 4 seconds. Okay. Now currently it is working. How much time you have defined, you based on that it is working. That means it is slowly starting, fastly starting. It depends on the timing you given. For example, you see PowerPoint. Generally in PowerPoint, suppose you have typed some welcome. I want to give some effects. Then you have ready-made effects. You can go to the animation and you can add an effect float. Then automatically it will have it. So like this, ready-made effects, it will be like this. That means it should spin, it should rotate. These are ready-made effects. In CSS also, we have such effects, but not many, few. In CSS also, ready-made effects are present. If you apply those effects, according to those effects, it will work. For example, you can write here, transition, timing function. You see, ready-made, so many timing functions are present. So many timing functions are present. Suppose I given the function like is in, one function is there. Generally, what is the concept of that function is in? That means it will slowly start and catch up the speed towards the end. Observe carefully. Is in means it will slowly start and it will catch up the speed towards the end. It will catch up the speed towards end. So that is in. We can use is out. Is out means it will fastly start and it will slow down. That means it will fastly start. Observe, it will fastly start and it will slow down towards the end. That is out. These are ready-made effects. It will control the speed. If I say is in out, that means it will fastly start. In between, it will be slow and it will slowly end. That you can observe when you move the mouse onto it. These are ready-made. You can give in other option. You can also give as steps. How many steps? So 50 steps. Now you can see that. It will change in 50 steps, it will increment. And in 50 steps, it is going to increment. You see, I given as 10 steps. Then what it will do is, it will go steps like this. In 10 steps, it will increase. So, and out normal. Out you can also give here also timing. That means transition timing function. And I give steps. 5 steps to come out to normal. And in 5 steps, it will come back. In 5 steps, it will come back. You can change and you can apply ready-made effects. These are timing functions. We can use these timing functions, ready-made timing functions. These are generally transition effects. So transition is not just only 1, 2 seconds or 3 seconds. Transition have delay, transition have duration, transition have property, transition have timing function also. You can keep for any content. So I just kept a div and a box. You can keep any content. That means you can keep any text inside it. You can apply for the fonts. So any paragraph. You can keep anything. It can be an image. You can apply this for any kind of content. So not only for this. That means I kept an image. Image source is equal to suppose assets. So suppose I said some image, some speaker. So we need some lengthy banner, like then it will be better. So then what I will do here is I will copy some image here in the assets folder. So into our project assets folder, here I will keep some image, some full stack. I have some slides here. Some slides are present, like slide 1, 2, 3. Some slides are present. I will copy them. I will keep a slide here. So that is some slide 1 is there. Now I just given that effect for that image. That means we have slide 1.png. And for this, I will apply the class box. Now, in that case, if it is an image, you don't need background colors and all. So because it is an image, only the image will be there. We don't need any background color here. And you can see this is the image. And for that image, that is the width and height. Suppose height I defined as 100 pixels. So that is height adjusted. Suppose 200 pixel height adjusted. When I move the mouse onto it, then it will increase that and it will display in this way. So you can display that and you can hide that and you can display. That is applied for an image. You can define for any content. I'm just giving on the box, so just like a div. You can apply anywhere. It can be for a text or it can be for any. So depending on how you want to place options. Now, options actually use. You can be your own. That means size should be different. In the middle, its size should be different.